Hey, so we're back. We had a few tech problems. We now got the headphones on. Hopefully this will be a little bit better. As you join, firstly, they look so funny, don't they? As you join, do say hello and let us know who you are, where you're from in the comments below. We've got lots of new people that have joined the group, so it'll be really good to start to get to know you. I'm going to be joined by a very special lady today called Dara. So she should be coming on in a second. There she is. Let me bring her on camera. Hello, Lucy. Us live today, and I think I have to be mindful of time because I think Dara needs to go at 12 today. But we're going to be. Oh, there you are. Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. I can't, I can't hear you. Oh, technology. Maybe take the headphones out. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi. Can oh I can, oh
I can hear you now, but then I don't know if there's an echo.
I can hear. Yeah, there's a real echo.
Okay, let me try. Hang on. Is it better now?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah?
Yep, can't hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
What was that? How come it doesn't normally happen on here? It always happens on Instagram.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It must be my end because it happened the other day. But anyway.
Oh, did it? Okay, cool. I'll turn you down a little bit because I just turned you right up and now you're really loud. Cool. At least we're here. You gotta love technology. Okay, well, before we begin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Dara. I'm a women's tailor and dressmaker. And over the past year, I've been working with you one-to-one and then in your mastermind. And yeah, it's been a really great journey and I'm looking forward to chatting today.
Yeah, awesome. And it was really funny actually, because I was thinking about when all this began, and it was a year ago that I did a challenge and you participated in it and you were the most active, so you ended up winning a 90-minute intensive with me. But we'd already spoke before then, so we'd already kind of decided to work together, but then you got that. And I thought, oh, it all started with the challenge, and then obviously we worked together over a period of time. And then it was when Holly's story came out, when she spoke about, because she joined the mastermind, because you were considering joining the mastermind then, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Should I do one-on-one or should I do mastermind? We went with one-on-one, which I think was the best thing then, wasn't it, to do that? And then once, and Holly joined at the same time that you were considering it, and then you heard her story, and then you ended up joining then, and Holly joined because of the challenge. So there's all these really weird kind of links to the challenge and it happening this week. I was just like, oh, I love those kind of moments. So would you just want to start by kind of just saying where you were kind of at the beginning of last year, then, like this kind of time last year, and why you decided that you wanted coaching then?
Yeah, I think I was feeling quite stuck, and I really had the sense that I was in my own way. And that I just needed some outside help to help me move forward. I just knew that I could do so much more than I was actually achieving on my own. And it was really more a case of, who do I work with? Where do I find that support? And I think the challenge really helped me because, it was 5 days. And I think it was great to make me realize how much I can do when I put my mind to it. And it really challenged me to do stuff that took me out of my comfort zone, that I had never done before, like going really vulnerable on a post and stuff like that, which is hard to do when you've never done it before, and it's quite scary. But I really enjoyed that, and I think showing me what I could do with your help, with the kind of support of the other people doing the challenge, just showed me that it was the right decision to then go ahead and work with you. And then I think, so I needed the one-to-one first because I really felt like I needed some mindset work just on my own with you. I wasn't quite ready to do that in a group, I think. And I just started to build momentum, I think, through working with you. And I know that we had our calls kind of drawn out over a longer period of time. But still, I think it really helped with my motivation. It helped me develop a more positive frame of mind, to not kind of talk myself down so much. And and then so after the summer I was ready to join the mastermind, and then that was almost like another step up. So again, it was still working with you, but then also having the other women on the mastermind was just so fantastic.
Yeah, and I think, it was that moment that we did like a bespoke package, didn't we? And we'd spread
Mm.
out some one-on-one sessions. We had a bit like a little intensive, and then we spread out some one-on-one sessions over the year. And then it was, I think, at the beginning of September where we had that bonus 90-minute call that you'd won earlier because we do your sessions. And then you told me about this idea that you have.
Yeah.
And and like, and you, as you could feel it, me, I was just like, oh my God, Dara, this is amazing. You have to do this. You have to do this. This is such a great idea. And I always speak about how sometimes it's all these little things that you do, and then suddenly the idea happens, or the thing pops. It's not always like right at the beginning, it's all these little things. But you had this really great idea. So do you want to speak a little bit about that? What the idea was?
Yeah, so I think what you really helped me do was sort of reconnect with what my purpose was. And so this goes back to when I was at university, and actually even before. So I've always been really passionate about women's rights, making women feel confident in who they are and what shape they are. And so I had this idea to develop a custom printed lining that I could use in my designs. And it would be printed with, statements and quotes by amazing women in the past, so that when you wear it, you feel like you're wrapped up in all this, wisdom of women from the past. So I'm wearing a scarf with this print at the moment. So this is a kind of prototype that I've made from the lining material, and I'll just show you. So it has about 20 different prints on this lining. But it was an idea, and I wasn't quite sure, but I think having the enthusiasm from you and from the other women in the mastermind just made me think, I am onto something here. I'm not just crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It is an idea that's worth developing.
Yeah, exactly. And it was such a great idea, and I think it was, from that moment I was just like, oh my God, you have to do this, I'd love to help you, continue and help you do that. And then you saw, I think it was Holly's video, wasn't I think you already kind of decided that you were going to do it, and then you saw Holly's story about what she achieved in the mastermind. So same kind of video again, like it's a kind of serendipitous. It's like, you saw similar things. I don't do these that often. And then you were like, oh, that's kind of like the icing on the cake kind of thing. Like, I want to achieve that. And it was funny actually, because I remember you saying, oh, I think, seeing Holly's or seeing other people's things, it makes me realize I think people have more disposable income or something like that. Like Holly answered it on there because I mentioned it to Holly, and because most of my clients, I think there was a belief around that many of my clients have the money and it's really easy just to invest in coaching, and it's the complete opposite. And it was really interesting because Holly wasn't in that position either, of like thinking about, well, it isn't really about that these people have got this money, it's really easy, it's like finding it and making it kind of happen. So I'm glad you did. And obviously, it's been brought to life. So do you want to speak a little bit about kind of the journey of like how the mastermind helped you, kind of the process to kind of getting this idea out of your head and kind of, into reality?
I think it was the accountability. It didn't, you and the others, you didn't allow me just to leave it as an idea.
No.
So I had to go ahead and take action on it. So, you were pinning me down in a really good way about like, what are the steps you need to take in order to make this happen? And so I said, well, I've got to research the printers, and I've got to find someone who can help me with the actual graphics. And then it wasn't just like, okay, those are the practical steps. When are you going to do it by? And so then I had to give you a date, and then we had the next call scheduled. So, there was a structure in place for me to actually go and make this happen. And so I did. And then actually, when I did research the printers, I found out that they can offer a scarf hemming service. And so that's actually how the idea for the scarves developed. Because I hadn't thought of them at first.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, and I will do
a jacket idea.
Exactly, I will do a jacket. It was the idea to use it as a lining initially, but yes, now I've got some scarves that I'm launching, and I think that's a wonderful thing because it is something you can wear, but it's maybe not as expensive as a jacket, and it's somehow really serendipitous when it kind of works that way. And then also the idea sort of evolved. So as I was copying out the quotes, that was another action point for me, is actually to make a list of the quotes I want to use. So I wrote out about 20, and my eldest daughter saw me doing that. She was 7 at the time. And so she saw me copying out these amazing quotes by women, and she said, Mummy, can I write one as well? And I said, okay, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
I had no idea what she was going to write, but I ended up using it in the scarf as well. So I love this connection. So you've got the women in the past, the women that will be wearing it, and this sense of sisterhood and kind of connection, you know,
Yeah.
there. And then also thinking of the next generation of girls that we're inspiring and working for.
Yeah, and I love that. And obviously
Yeah.
knowing you personally, getting to know you over the last year, like when you said this idea, it just married up all the things that you love, that you stand for, what you can do, you know, like it just married everything together so beautifully. And I think, you know, when you get that moment and you can feel it, like it's just like, oh, it's so good, like it's all coming together, you know?
Yeah. And it really, but you know, I'm really good at talking myself down. So I think I would have talked myself out of this idea if I hadn't had that support from you. And I do want to say, you know, what you mentioned earlier about the money, it really was not an easy investment for me to make. But I think it was so important, both for, you know, the support that I got from you, the coaching, but also in terms of investing in myself and valuing my own development and my own journey enough to put that money in. And also with you know, the things I do, bespoke outfits for women, you know, that's not a cheap investment for them to make either. But I think sort of seeing that I was willing to spend quite a chunk of money on something that was important to me helped me actually own my own pricing a bit more, because I could see that it would be worth that investment to someone else. So it's money is a funny old thing.
It is about what's the word, but it's like being in alignment with it. It's being like, you know, you're practicing what you're preaching, you're doing it. And I think when you have that relationship with money, like you know, energetically there's a shift in you because you see the worth and you're doing it and you're that kind of match to it. There's lots of things coming up. One amazing idea to have all the inspiration to wear and remind you every day. And I think what the great thing about it too is it's like, you know, like with NLP and anchoring, there's this idea of like people, when you put on like a cloak, you know, when you put something on and it like makes you feel a certain way. So it's like, you know, when I wrap myself in this scarf, I've got all this inspiration from all these women, like you say, past and present, you know, and then, you know, and also, you know, again, when it goes into the jacket, the same thing. So it's like the Superman cloak, like all of that, it's very much symbolizes and anchors those feelings. And I think because you're like creating such a great message and brand around it too, you know, it's not just a piece of clothing, it means something. And I think there's so much room for that, you know, to create something that people can wear, because, you know, clothes are important. You obviously, you know, this is your field, you know, and how you feel, and they make a statement and that kind of thing. I think to wear something like this it makes a statement, but also it empowers you, you know. You've got that bit of inspiration on you, which is what I love, you know, really love about it.
And I think it is really powerful. So yesterday I came across an artist I hadn't heard of before. She just had an article in The Guardian. Her name is Alison Adams, and on Instagram her handle is Groundbreaking Girls. And so she lost her husband quite tragically in an accident. And in order to kind of work her way through that, she started painting amazing women from history. So if you find the article on The Guardian, it's amazing, but you can also just look on Instagram. She's got all her paintings up. And she was saying, you know, how thinking about these women and what they have achieved and what they overcame just gave her strength to carry on and kind of get through her grief. So, you know, there is that kind of power we can draw from the experiences of other women. And I just thought it's so amazing that she's sort of done that through painting. And I kind of want to do it through words and through the clothing that we have. And my kind of hashtag, if you like, is wearable confidence. That is just something you can put on and you feel confident because you know that you're connected to other women.
And we are all connected, and we are like, who we are today is the sum of many other women and many other things that they've done and the rights that we've got, but then also biologically as we've come through the generations. So I think it's really great. And as you were talking, what made me think of as well is it's interesting the stuff you were saying about empowering women and women coming together and all of that. It's kind of similar to the mastermind, right? Like as you were going through that process, having that support network yourself helped you to create this in the same way that you hope that the scarf inspires and kind of brings women together.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's not a coincidence that I've chosen to work with you and you exclusively work with women. You know, I think there is, you know, we kind of have our reasons why we do that. And no,
it's amazing how it all pulls together. I want to talk a little bit more about the scarf, but just kind of finishing off your journey kind of with the mastermind then, obviously going through it. And as we can see, you know, you've created this now, and we'll talk more about this kind of, you know, what did you get as a result of being in the mastermind ultimately, you know, and was it worth the investment? Because obviously that's the most scariest part for most people. I know it was for you. It always is. It's like, you know, investing that amount of money, can I do it? But so it's like, can I make it back? That kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about your result as of completing the mastermind now.
I have a list.
You got a list. Go on.
Because there's so much. But I think the most important to me was just that over the last 3-4 months, I've just been so much more positive. I've had more energy. I've been a lot more productive. And I've also taken action for my own personal health. So I completed like a 30-day yoga challenge for myself as well. And I have, you know, my ideal clients are actually coming to me. They're finding me online. And I think because I'm feeling more positive, the way I speak to them is actually turning them into customers. And I've just had more confidence. I've taken a few more risks in my business, I feel. I've developed the scarf and the lining, which, you know, are going to lead to other products this year. I've had less fear, I think, to show up as myself. And that's my big goal for this year as well, is just to build on that and be more authentic and talk more about what is really important to me.
Because when we met, just quickly just going into it, when we first met, that was one of the things that you had, like when speaking to you, there's all these, you know, opinions and who you are, and your character really comes out, but online you couldn't see any of it.
That's right. And I still have a long way to go, you know, but I'm getting there.
Exactly.
You know, I went live on Instagram a couple of days ago. That was a really big thing for me. But then also more tangibly, you know, I think I've had my best months over the last 3-4 months. I think bringing all that together, the increased productivity, the energy. So I've tripled my income. I think I had more income in the last 3 or 4 months than I had in the previous 9 months. So that's amazing.
And that happens. It's also people's biggest worry, and we were speaking about this on our last mastermind call. It's like you don't always have to be focusing on the numbers, like constantly going, how much do I make, how much do I make, I need to hit that. The energetic shifts and the confidence and you know, being held accountable, and the action and the mindset shifts, and actually doing it and doing something that you're really passionate about, that just generates it naturally. It happens, you know, organically. Tripled income. Wow. That was Emily. You doubled, didn't you? Emily was one of my one-on clients. She doubled from where she was as well. So Emily's amazing as well. Similar shifts to you. I'm sure Emily's here going, I relate. She had huge mindset shifts too. So in the end, the fear and everything, it was worth it.
Yes, absolutely. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
So tell us more, and you've done amazingly, and you know, it's hard to even put in words, because if people didn't see you this time last year, like, or worked with you in that way, it's hard to really gauge like the difference, because I can see such a difference in your confidence and your personality and the way you speak about things, and like, and you were so unclear at the beginning of last year, you know, you were like, oh, I'm thinking of this, and I'm not sure my ideal client is, and should I be doing this, and there was like so much and so many ideas, and it was kind of everywhere, and it was pulling you in all these different directions, and then your family and balancing things, and it was just so many things, wasn't it? And I just feel like it's really kind of come together, and it's just so much more like who you are and what you stand for is really, really clear, that you've got. And I hope you feel like, you know, you've got a really clear path even now of like what you're going to be focusing on now, and where your kind of genius lies, and what you need to be focusing on and doing. Do you feel like that?
I do. I think there's still more areas where I can get more clarity, but I think it's also normal. You kind of go in spurts, I guess. You know, you get really clear on something, you work on it for a while.
Of course.
Then you have a million other ideas, and you get confused again. But then you have to, you know, refocus So I think, but I feel more accepting of that process now. I think before I would always beat myself up about not having this or that, or I should be doing this, or comparing myself to others. And I think now I'm starting to rest more in myself, and just and also just say I'm good enough. Which is actually quite a big thing.
It is.
I'd say I'm a recovering perfectionist.
And that will come up. The same stuff comes up over and over again. And what you say about, like, you know, all these ideas come and then you go through the same process. We all have that. So anyone who goes through that, like, it's not like the journey ever ends. It just evolves, you know, but you become more conscious of it. So becoming very conscious that you're a perfectionist, or that you end up not believing in yourself, you talk yourself out of things, you start learning it. So when something does happen, you can kind of go, okay, it's that part of me again. Like, is this, you know, and it gives you more control. So
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
think
really good.
you realize that you come up against your own limitations, and
Yeah.
you have a really bad day and you just think everything's horrible and you're making huge mistakes and whatever. And then you realize, no, it's because I'm actually pushing myself forward, and
Yeah.
I just need to stick with this, and then it will,
Yeah.
get better,
Yeah.
rather
I
than
think
just sort of stop.
exactly. And I think it's also important to add, we haven't mentioned this, that you're also like a mum of three, and
Mm.
so say how old your kids are as well. Because again, it's one of those things that people worry about, doing it all and managing it all and stuff. And I know that was a big worry for you as well.
Yeah. So my eldest has just turned 8. Then I have a
Yeah.
5-year-old and I have an almost 2-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So three
Yeah.
girls. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
is pretty busy.
Yeah. So when we spoke, your daughter was 1, you know.
Yeah.
She's really young. Yeah. So like it just shows,
Yeah.
even having kids and all this, and again, you should be really proud of yourself. And as they get older, it become even easier.
Yeah.
Funny, like my son, he just like takes himself to school in the morning. But there's always ways around it all, because obviously it's managing multiple roles and stuff as well, and like being a parent, being a mum, and also running your business and having time for you and all those things as well. And so what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, with that increased positivity and energy, I pulled an all-nighter because I had so much work to finish. And I was working until midnight most nights and so on. And I was only getting maybe 5 hours of sleep. But because I was so excited about everything I was doing, I didn't actually feel that tired. So just because I had all that positive energy around me and excitement, it was still good.
Yeah, and I've spoken about this before, about there's like seasons of reaping, seasons of sowing, and like right now, like I'm in a very busy period because I'm getting ready for launch for the Academy and Mastermind, and it's really busy. I work longer days, and I'm like, okay, but it's not going to be like this always. When you're in it, you feel like that. But the whole point is, when you're planting all those seeds and you're doing all that work, it comes back to you in dividends. And it doesn't always happen at the same time. It's not always equal. That's not how the world works. It's not how seasons work, is it? It's not like it's always, we're not always harvesting. Sometimes we have to plant and sow the seeds and create that thing, that foundation, and it comes in the next season, and that's kind of like how it works. So it's a really good thing to kind of put out there, because there is work put in, but as long as you can, if you're enjoying it and you've got that energy, I totally agree. You don't feel tired. Sometimes I'm like, I've only had 4 hours sleep, how am I not feeling tired? And it's just because you're actually buzzing and you're excited. We're not condoning having a lack of sleep, but there are times sometimes where that happens. And sometimes if you're so excited about your idea, you can't sleep anyway, and you want to work on it, and but that's not always going to be the case. You don't always want to be like that, but that is just part of it. And it's better to be like that and to be awake and buzzing and excited for it, creating your idea, than to not have it at all, right? So on that, and obviously you've done amazingly, like it's been so amazing working with you, and like I'm glad of everything you've achieved. Let's speak a little bit about the scarf. So who loves the idea of having this, like, have you given it a name? Has it got an actual name to it?
No, I'm just calling them scarves for inspiring women. I'll just briefly mention it, and then I need to go because I have a meeting at 12. But they are on a special pre-order price until the end of this week. So they're 100% silk. They're printed in the UK. They're going to be finished with a nice rolled hem, and there's 3 different color options. I'll pop a link in the comments afterwards. So they are £125 normally, and then until the end of this week, I'm selling them for £95.
Amazing.
And they just feel really, really beautiful. And it's going to be a really nice light silk satin, and as I say, 3 different color options as well.
Amazing. So we'll put the links and stuff, so if you share them in the comments, I'll put it in the main thing. So if you are interested in having that, honestly, it's such an amazing idea. Like I say, it's so empowering, and that's actually going to be sent out, is it in March?
I'm releasing them, exactly, it's pre-order now, and then they'll be ready on or before March the 8th, which is International Women's Day. And I forgot to say, because I really want this to benefit women who are less fortunate, so I'm giving 10% of all the sales to the women's charity Refuge, and they work with domestic violence survivors. So.
Amazing. And you're creating quite a movement around it too, aren't you? It's going to be like a hashtag, and be a way for women to come together, share the pictures and stuff like that as well. So
exactly.
love it. It's such a great idea. So we're if you're interested in that, we'll put in the details, and you can pre-order, and it's just this week you can get it at the discounted rate, isn't it?
Until the end of Sunday. And then also I'm running a giveaway competition on Instagram. So I'd love it if you come and follow me, like the post, and then tag a woman who inspires you. Don't all tag Kirsty, or you might. But yeah, you know, you can enter multiple times, so you can tag all the women that inspire you, and then you can win a scarf for yourself and one for your friend. But if you want to pre-order the scarf and you win the competition after, then I'll refund you. So don't let that stop you.
Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you
Thank
need
you.
to go now, don't you? You've got another meeting, so we'll finish it now. But thank you for everyone who joined us. If you've got any questions for Dara or for me, just put them in the comments, and obviously we'll get back to them later on as well. And I'll share the details. So if you do want one of those scarves, obviously you can get one, and it'd be good to see you in those too. So thank you so much for joining us, Dara. And
thank you.